Hey, FitLovers.
Hey, FitLovers.
Welcome back. I am Ramsey.
And I am Mina.
And today we'll be discussing the idea of unconditional love and whether you can really love somebody unconditionally. This is Garage Talk. At some point you've heard people talk about how they either love somebody unconditionally or either want to be loved unconditionally. But is loving unconditionally even possible? I mean, sure, you love your kids unconditionally. They're your kids, right? Yeah. You brought them into this world. You probably love your pets unconditionally too, right? I mean, their purpose is to provide love, companionship, protection, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No matter how bad your day was, they're always happy to see you. And if you're a God-fearing person, of course you love God unconditionally because that's the way He loves us.
Amen.
But in the context of a marriage or relationship, is it possible to love unconditionally?
I believe loving unconditional is possible, but it's not the greatest thing for you. In all of my past relationships, I took pride in what?
How many relationships you have?
Not many, but in any past relationship, I took pride in loving unconditional.
And what does that mean? What did you do?
Well, I endured certain things like maybe disrespect, verbal abuse, physical abuse, or narcissistic behavior, all in the name of love. I set no boundaries for myself, and I felt like I had to love the other person no matter what I was experiencing in the relationship. My need to love unconditionally carried over into my previous marriage. Unfortunately, the love that I gave wasn't reciprocated. Instead, it was met with verbal, sometimes physical abuse, and sometimes the kids were witness to it. It just wasn't a good situation at all. Honestly, my perspective changed once I met Ramsey. We would have these long, intense conversations, and I said to Ramsey that I wanted someone to love me unconditionally, and I wanted to love that person unconditionally. And he questioned that. He asked me if I really wanted unconditional love, if I wanted love with no boundaries, if I was willing to accept hurt, pain, things that I didn't deserve, and still give that person love. And it made a lot of sense to me.
I mean, let's think about what unconditional love really means. It means loving someone with no conditions. So no matter how the other person treats you, you'll love them unconditionally? Should Mina have stayed in her previous marriage and loved unconditionally in spite of all the verbal and physical abuse she endured? Should you stay in a marriage or a relationship under similar circumstances because you feel that love is unconditional?
If a relationship is going to work, both people involved should be expressing their love for each other in healthy ways. And I'm sorry, but verbal and physical abuse is not a healthy way of showing love. In fact, I would argue that me staying in a relationship like that showed a lack of self-love. Yeah. And self-love is so important in any relationship.
The point is that within the context of a marriage or relationship, love does and should come with conditions.
Now, that doesn't mean that two people can't love each other wholeheartedly. They can. But you should approach your relationship with the equal balance of head and heart.
You can't have a successful relationship using only logic and rationale, just like you can't have a successful relationship relying only on your feelings. There should be an equal balance between the two. Now, we understand that at the beginning of a relationship, when two people are infatuated with one another, the infamous honeymoon period, that you may tend to overlook some things.
But over time, if things aren't right in your relationship, you should be able to be honest with yourself about why things aren't right. Continuously tolerating and overlooking certain things in your relationship just because you want to love unconditionally will almost ensure that you'll have a miserable relationship.
Yeah. Remember, both people in the relationship should be getting their needs met. Both people in the relationship should be expressing their love in healthy ways. If you're realizing that the effort put forth in your relationship is one-sided, you should have a serious conversation with your significant other about taking steps to get on the same page. Conversely, if you've known for some time that your relationship is one-sided, yet you continue to provide love and support in spite of numerous attempts to get the same but never receiving it in return, then you probably need to have a serious conversation with yourself at that point.
You should absolutely love hard. Love your children unconditionally, love yourself unconditionally, and love God unconditionally. And you should love your spouse or significant other wholeheartedly. But don't let anybody walk all over you. Make it known that your love comes with conditions that need to be met. You want to love the one that you're with, knowing that they're also loving you the way that you should be loved.
If both you and your significant other are meeting each other's needs and expressing your love for each other in healthy ways, you'll end up having a love that is about as close to unconditional as you can get. Well, folks, that's our show for today. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Please like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to turn your notifications on so you'll be notified first when we release new episodes. Thanks again, FitLovers.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.